What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video for the First Descendant today, we're talking about weapon cores, which is a new feature that was added with the latest patch, how you can farm for this system efficiently without hating yourself too much, and that you can actually get a couple of weapons equipped with these. So pretty much what we're referring to is the fact that you go here and you choose a weapon that you want to put one of these onto. So let's say, for example, you are a big fan of the Thunder Cage. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to unlock this system with an item called a core binder. Now you can see that this item requires 2000 Void Abyss metal fragments to be able to unlock it. And then once you unlock a weapon, like for example my Enduring Legacy at the top here, you are then able to slot in these cores which you farm from the new activity. And if you want to reattach new ones or better ones or roll on better ones, you also once again need an item called a core particle disruptor, and this also uses Void Abyss metal fragments. Now the community has pretty much realized that there's an insane amount of farming that needs to be done for this stuff. Both of these items are researched from a nice by using that resource. So if you go here to enhancement material, you can see that we have core particle disrupt over here, which requires 15, which means 15 of these materials you'll have to spend every time you reroll, and then a core binder which is 2000, which means every time that you want to enable the system on one of your ultimate weapons, you will have to pay this 2000. Bear in mind that's a once-off fee, and once you pay that, the weapon is unlocked and that's it. But nonetheless, this is a big gatekeeper right here. And 2000 of this resource is a lot. You get your first one for free as you finish the quest. I hope you pick the right weapon for that, but how are we going to get more of these? Looking at Void Abyss metal fragments, we can see that essentially we can get these from two different activities. One, we can do the new Void Abyss boss, which is Defiler. Infernal Walker was the previous boss, but basically this very difficult boss encounter drops some of these items, usually somewhere between 52 to I've gotten as high as 66. So the average pegs at around 56 to 57 of these a pop when you kill this boss. And then you can also get it from 400% infiltration dungeons. So basically, you know, the really fun dungeons with all of the monsters in, you can also get from these, and you get 20 a run from this. So pretty big difference there. Of course, I believe in my heart that 400% dungeons are way easier than the boss. And oftentimes you'll find players that don't even opt in for this very, difficult content because they'll rather just do this. But I just want to show you the difference between the two and basically drive my point home that there is a very specific way that you should be farming this currency, because if you don't do it this way, you are going to walk away from the experience extremely sour, I would imagine. Now, when we look at a Defiler kill, this is just using what I would imagine to be a bargain bin kind of like ultimate bunny loadout. I think that this is very unoptimized, and I basically just changed some mods around and everything like that to essentially suit this fight the best. You're basically doing your best impression of Spider-Man here, and you're essentially just avoiding getting one tap by the boss and all of the mechanics by just swinging around the boss and essentially electrocuting everything with high voltage. So the aim of the game here is to stay out of touch of the boss. Remember that you do have multiple lives, so if you do go down once, it's not the end of the world. But the point is just to stay around the boss and just keep on hammering away at them with high voltage. You're not shooting at the boss, you're not shooting at the ads, your focus is running and swinging and electrocuting. Now, doing it this way takes me about 2 minutes and 20-ish seconds average per kill. And like I said, the range of Void Abyss metal fragments that you get, I've had as low as 52 and I've had as high as 66, but let's say the average would be about 57 of these shards. Then if we look at 400% dungeons, these can obviously differ in terms of finishing speed for you based on which Descendant you're using, but also based on which Void, or rather which 400% dungeon it is. Some of these are a lot faster, like Magister Lab 400 is a lot faster than this dungeon that I'm running right now. So some days you're going to be able to do more of these in a shorter time than others. But the bottom line is, for me, on average, these dungeons take anywhere between 4.5 to 5 minutes. And that's because what I'm doing is I'm using the really long ones and I'm also using the really short ones, and I'm making a base average in between. Again, like I said, it depends which Descendant you also use. I think Bunny and Freyna are your two best options here for very fast clear times, although I'm sure Innes is also going to be good for this, and there's a whole bunch of other Descendants that can also do these quite fast, like Sharon and so on. Nonetheless, you can see that the time is a lot longer for a lot less. You are spending about 4.5 minutes to 5 minutes for only 20 of these resources. So stacking these two up next to each other, the maths is very simple. If we're doing it based on those times that I mentioned right now, so a Defiler kill taking about 2 minutes and 19-20-ish seconds, we add on a few seconds for loading and that sort of thing, you're looking at about an hour and 36 minutes for every one of these core binders that you want to unlock. So essentially an hour and a half's worth of effort gets you an unlock for one ultimate weapon. And obviously if you want rerolls, a whole bunch of rerolls, because the rerolls are 15 a pop, so that's also obviously worth mentioning. If you go the 400% dungeon fucking version, then you're in for a really tough time, because you're going to be doing 100 runs, and that's going to clock you in, factoring in things like loading and all of that stuff, and getting rid and, you know, cleaning out your inventory from all the shit that you're going to be picking up. I mean, this is all good material still for researching, but nonetheless, you're going to be spending about 8 hours and 50 minutes to grind out one core binder. Now, I think that if you get tired of doing Defiler, you can obviously do some 400s and you can kind of like fold these in just to give yourself a break, but it absolutely benefits your time and your fucking mental health a lot more by just actually doing Defiler. Now you might be thinking, holy shit, but like Defiler is like one of the most difficult bosses in the game. It's supposed to be hyper difficult content and everything. But as you saw in that video there, I was doing it and I tried to do it in as less a sweaty way as I could. But this build right here that I'm showing you on the screen right now is exactly the one that I'm using in that video. It is Ultimate Bunny and it is using high voltage, so those would be your barriers of entry. But a lot of people have Ultimate Bunny already, and we basically recently got Ultimate Bunny for free if you played during Christmas time. And then you simply need high voltage. You need to set yourself up with these mods. You can see I even left one open there, which is a flex slot. You can put anything in there. You can put more damage in by, for example, adding something like spear and shield. You can put let's see, what else have we got? We can put more HP in if we want to survive. You can throw something like time distribution in there or whatever, but the basic thing is you just want to make sure that you have some decent damage on board, you have some decent survivability. I basically have 2 survivability mods on here, increase HP and battle stamina, and the rest of the stuff is all just about damage. I have energy collection here, which helps me keep my run up. As you know, you strike more with high voltage if you are moving faster, hence why you're swinging around all the time, but running fast also helps. And basically the one thing that you have to be sure of is that your 3 ability is always available. In other words, what I mean by that is that you have a cooldown of 20 seconds here and we have a duration of 21.8. That means that I have no downtime with this, and it means that it's working perfectly and I can just make sure that I stay alive while my lightning is electrocuting the boss. In terms of a reactor, of course, what you want to do is you want to match your reactor up. So I'm using singular skill power boost and additional skill attack to Colossus. You could get away with using singular and electric on the same one. Of course, we aren't built for crit, so crit dam and stuff won't really help you here. But you could also get away with something like a damage roll and skill cooldown. Your time will suffer a little bit, but you're still overall net making a lot more than doing 400% dungeons. Lastly, Slayer's set is really good here because it's additional damage. Again, if you struggle with survivability and you're still learning the fight and you want to make sure that you actually pull through, you can give yourself more defensible options here like Frozen Heart or something like that, and later on swap in Slayer when you know the fight better. This will of course once again affect your time slightly, but the bottom line is get the fight under your knee, know exactly how to kill the boss, and you can essentially do this quite easily. So that's pretty much the methodology that I'm following. I know a lot of people have been upset about the fact that it is so grossly expensive, and I can definitely say that one of 2 things is going to happen. Either this system is going to change, they're going to make more of this item drop, or they're going to make it cost less, or they're going to open up more places that we can get this from. That's my suspicion, because enough people in the community are complaining about this that there is some form of backlash towards them, and this studio has a thing with responding to backlash in this way. We've seen it many times before in every single season. My personal suggestion, I do believe that you should put in some work for this, but I do think what they need to do is, in the new activity Void Erosion Purge, which is all about going in there for weapon cores, they should make this fucking item also just drop in there. Then you're killing two birds with one stone, because you're already in there for the weapon cores, and you can just get that resource as well, and Bob's your uncle. But that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support on all the First Descendant stuff. Keep an eye out for my Innis build, which is all, well, let's say Innis build of minis, because there are a couple of different ones that I'm looking at, which is dropping hopefully sometime over the weekend. Other than that, as always, fucking cheers.